Okay, this one's a bit of a quick one today, and I haven't even really sped it up ridiculously. It just came together really smoothly for me, so I thought that would make a nice change for you guys. What am I doing? I'm using the, if I can remove this sticky note, I'm using the Kaisercraft Always Forever paper collection. Now, I've actually used a fair bit of this collection and I really, really like it. I love the tones of it. I love the florals in it. It's so pretty. Sometimes, like I say to you guys, sometimes I really like florals and the simplicity of it, and I like that sort of thing. And sometimes I like going full, bold, bright color. So it just depends what mood I'm in, really. And these photos screamed for something simple. So as you can see, I'm having a bit of a play. Now, I literally even use minimal bits and pieces. So I use the paper kit. That's the sticker sheet. It actually comes with the paper kit. I don't even know if this one is still available. I did buy it quite a while ago. But that being said, my Kaisercraft seems to have supplies that hang around for a lot longer than others. So you may still be able to get it. And I absolutely love it. I think it's really pretty. With the roses and the peonies and all that sort of thing. These are just some photos that I took of my daughter being an absolute stirring little monster that she likes to be with my dog. So this is my dog, Lexi. This is the little black and white fluffy one. She's my girl. She has attitude. She is a chihuahua through and through. Lex, come here. Sorry, I can just see my dog going and barking right now. And I haven't shut my door. Normally I shut my door, but I'm home alone. So I figured there should be no extra noises, right? But bet your Lexi barks at some point. Now, what am I doing? All I'm doing is running some ink around the edges. I used walnut stain this time. Usually I go for ground coffee because it's quite dark and I really like it. But I went with walnut stain. So, and I'm using my larger ink dauber because that gets this job done twice as quick. And as I said, it just comes together. And it worked really well. I didn't tear paper. I wasn't in the mood for tearing and creating lots and lots of texture that way. But I'm thinking I wanted to put my title up in that left-hand corner. I don't know why, but I just felt like it created a little pocket for it. So that worked for me. Now, the idea I had in the back of my head when I look at this page is, I don't know, from wherever you guys are from, do you remember years and years ago there was a bit of a trend, and I can remember my grandmother, she had in one of her houses, it was a rental property, and you know, my nana actually came from a very, initially it was quite a what would you call it? Very hard-working family. They didn't have a lot. They were very, this is my dad's side of the family. They didn't have a lot. She provided well for her kids. She got them through. Her kids then continued to look after her in her older years. And it was awesome. Well, one of the houses that she rented later in life had this wall, and I distinctly remember it was almost like it was like flocking, and it was a wallpaper, and it looked like lace, and the bottom half of the wall was wood. I can hear people nodding right now. I can hear it because for some reason, I think it was the 80s, maybe it was the 70s, it was quite popular. And yeah, so when I saw these, that's actually what it reminded me of. Not that I have anything like that in my home, but it was just, these papers reminded me of that. So that's the sort of angle I went with. And then of course I go for my tried and true long title that I create on my Cricut. Now, all I do with my Cricut is I pick a font that I want, I create a text box, type whatever title I want in there, obviously keeping it within the the parameters of, I think it's 11.5 and 11.5 to fit it on the mat. And then I usually create an offset. I'm going through a bit of an offset with my letters. I really enjoy it. I like how it separates it from the rest of the page. And yeah, so as you can see, obviously you can see the white pops off there pretty good. This is how my brain was initially thinking of having the wording. Relationship does not fit. So I had to rethink it a little bit. And I thought, you know what, maybe I could just put it down the side like that. And I actually think that works better. So it makes you sort of read down the page, if that makes sense. So I'm doing that. Now, what else can I tell you? Today, thank heavens. Okay, we are past our first heat wave of the summer. The last few days were horrendous, I have to say. The storms were huge, but we got there in the end, and that's okay. Today is last day of primary school for Jen. So she's off at school enjoying her very last day with all of her primary school friends, because not all of them end up going to the same high school. So we've got several high schools that are available in our area, and some of them go private, some of them just decide to take a different direction. One of our high schools kind of lends itself more to mechanics and agriculture and all that sort of thing, whereas the other high school is more dance, media, sort of. I don't really know what they offer that's different, because I didn't look at them, to be completely honest, but that's okay. So now I'm just adding my lettering to my offset, my backing sheet, I suppose you'd call it. Now, what else am I doing today? Could my phone bing bong anymore if it tried? Oh, Meghan Markle and Harry, gee whiz. This whole Netflix thing is doing my head in this morning. Apparently, there is no other news anywhere in the world. Nobody else has anything going on. Apparently, it's all Meghan Markle and Harry. That's it. That is expressing my opinion on the situation. I do not cope well with conflict and arguing, and I don't like confrontation. You want to learn a couple of things about me? I don't like confrontation. When I was younger, I was very headstrong, very confrontational. Still to this day, if you do wrong by me, I will do anything for anyone at any point. But if you do wrong by me, I hold a grudge. I'm that wicked witch that holds a grudge. Now, that being said, that's just who I am. I don't like getting sucked into the vortex of people's wrath when they just want to, when they suck you in to their venom and they just want you to have the same venom. I just don't like that in my life. I really don't need it. I'm sorry if you can hear that. That's my washing machine in the background. I'm just going to pull my door a little bit. Sorry for the noise. As this is a very different kind of chit chat for me, isn't it? Okay, so I'm having a play with my title. Now, this is where I thought, you know what? I don't normally do this. When I put down my white section, I normally just leave it as is. But I thought I would just touch the edges. I'm not putting a lot on there. It's just a little bit of the walnut stain. Now, the other two colours that I used were pumice stone. That's the lighter grey tone. And the bottom part is called hickory smoke. They're my distress oxides. I did have someone ask me the difference between distress inks and distress oxides. Now, the difference for me, well, the difference in general, is a distress oxide is a combination of dye ink and it's gone out of my head. Pigment ink. Okay, it's a pigment ink. So what you can use that for compared to the distress ink, which is just a dye based ink. The distress inks, you can stamp with them. They go over the top of other colors. They're a much creamier. If you wanted to stamp on top of other things, you can, because it's a really creamy blend, and the pigment ink allows you to do that. It also allows you to blend with ease. Honestly, it's like super, super easy. I stuffed up there, by the way, so I'm just fixing it up. Now, I wanted to go along and just add a little bit of white highlight. Now, I wanted to do this way purely to show you that it doesn't matter what side you put. Normally, I always go down the left-hand side of the letter, but I wanted to just do some on the right-hand side just to show you that it doesn't matter what side your light reflects from, because that's essentially what these white little pen marks do. It makes it look more three-dimensional because it gives it a light source of an entry and exit point. Now, that's probably a little bit too much for everyone. They probably don't, you probably don't want to overthink it that much, but that's essentially what a white highlight is on a letter. You're just creating a light source for which way the light is reflecting off the letter to make it look 3D. The other day I had someone say to me, does it matter if I do it on the outside or the inside, or like, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's not, it's your preference. If you want to run a line straight down the left-hand side of all your letters, go for it. There's no right or wrong. You can Google till the cows come home over it, and you can work it out how, to do it exactly correctly. But I wanted to show you that it's not that big a deal. You can do it left, right, just do the top bits. So the way mine looks is my light source would be on my right-hand side at this point. So you can see how with Angela, the way she's standing, the light source is above her but slightly more to her right. So that's why I put the white dots on that side. That's all it is. That's just a OCD thing of mine. Now I'm just adding a couple of extra bits of flower up the top there. It looked a little bit lonely. How good was that? Did you see what I just did then? I literally just chopped that, didn't even give it any thought, and it landed perfectly. It looked perfect. So I'm just adding in a bit of glue, putting it in the right place, and that's it. So see, not all my pages take me 5 hours to make. Sometimes I'm in the mood to just do a quick page, and this is it. And it can look just as pretty as one that I've put a gazillion hours into. I'm just adding a couple of little clear glossy accent drops. They sort of look like water droplets on my roses and my peonies, just to add a bit of reflection. I didn't want to add metallic to this page because it lends itself more to being flat, if that makes sense. So there you go. That's my page. So if you've watched this and you really enjoy it, and you're maybe not subscribed, I'd love to have you a subscriber. I'd love to have the thumbs up from you, a comment even. I love replying to everybody, and I love at nighttime I sit down and read everything. And here's the close-up. I do post 6 videos a week and 1 every day, and at the moment I'm opening my advent calendar as well, so you're getting a bonus one, even though it's really quick. If there's anything you want to see, leave me a comment below, and that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.